Hi everyone, and welcome to Frequency's Apeldoorn meets Burlington, where four bands from two cities 7,000 kilometers apart together form an intercontinental lineup here on Frequency. My name is Francis from Francis Moon, and I'll be presenting amazing performances from Sun Junkies, Magnetic Spacemen, Fade Awaays, and last but not least, Nicolaas. Starting off with a band from Brantford, Ontario, Canada, who play high-energy rock with catchy melodies, all with a punky approach. I'm very glad to present to you Sun Junkies.
Hey, Francis. Hey, man. Good to be here.
Glad to have you here. To start off with, for listeners new to Sun Junkies, can you tell a bit about yourself and the band in general?
Yeah, for sure. So Sun Junkies has been around for a long time, like 6 years. Our lead singer started in high school, and it was really just an outlet for him to, put his songs and have a way to release them. Personally, I joined 3 years ago. I play lead guitar and help with songwriting and producing and engineering and mixing in the band. So yeah, we've been in this lineup for around 3 years, just playing shows in and around Brantford, our hometown, and in Toronto.
Okay, cool. And I grew up in Sweden, and it's very cold, and we only got a few months of sunlight. So I was very intrigued by the name Sun Junkies. Can you tell me a bit about the meaning behind the band name, or is this just a random name that you picked?
Sure. Yeah, I don't really think it has any specific meaning other than it sounds pretty good syllabically together. Sun Junkies. I think that's about it. But yeah, okay. I mean, Noah, our singer, named the band when he was in high school. So that's like 6 or 7 years ago at this point. So yeah.
Okay, so you don't have your backstory to it?
Not really further. There's nothing further to glean from Sun Junkies. We're not that smart.
Okay. It's a nice name though, I must say.
Cheers.
And your latest album was Unconventional Methods of Transportation, which was released in July early this year. And I saw that on Instagram that you wrote that it was a big learning curve for you. Can you please explain what way it was a big learning curve?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, I kind of talked about it a little bit before, but I do all the mixing and engineering for the project. And we released our first record. We started recording that like maybe 2 months after I joined the band. So that was a huge learning curve. And it sounds like a record recorded by kids, which, has its merits. But with this, I think we were really trying to more think about our sound going into it as opposed to just, flying by the seat of our pants. So playing the studio was a big one in this, spending too long trying to get a snare tone, for example, is stuff that, everyone knows about now. But this was our first foray into, I guess, putting ourselves a little bit into the future, looking back on it, being like, we need to be satisfied with this a year down the line, more or less, is what it was kind of a learning curve for us. And I mean, also the weird thing about releasing music in quarantine is that, usually you're able to road test some of the songs, right? Like you can play them live, you see how people react to them. Yeah. I mean, it's a barometer as to whether or not they're good or they're shit, more or less.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
Without that barometer, we were just kind of like, I hope these are good. They might not be, but yeah. So in all those ways, I guess, is a bit of a learning curve.
Okay. And who writes songs in the band? Does everyone write, or is it only one specific person?
So the seed of an idea starts with Noah. Usually, he's the big idea man. He's our front man and lead singer, and it's become very collaborative from a songwriting structure standpoint. So he'll come in with a bare bones of a song with all the lyrics and all some of the parts, and then we'll work on it from there. Sometimes he'll have all the parts, and then whatever I sing, I'll bring in as well. So it's he does most of it and then I do some of it.
Okay. So, but everyone is open for new ideas that everyone brings in.
Yeah, we've gotten to a point where we're pretty collaborative.
Okay. Because I know by experience, a lot of people, the drama is like, oh no, this is complete shit. I don't want it. And then you feel discouraged to bring in more songs. But you have a good spirit in the band.
For sure. I mean, I think we've created a space where you can comfortably say, dude, that sounds like shit, and you don't get offended. You need to have that creative, tough skin, as it were, in order to you need to be able to work on something and give criticism in order for it to get better, right? Like with anything.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, and what to expect from Sun Junkies in the future? Do you have any new album you working on, gigs?
So over quarantine, we wrote approximately 3,000 songs. So we're just kind of sussing through those. That's a rough number. You don't hold me to that. Yeah. But so we have some singles for the next little bit. I think we're just planning on releasing singles, as it were, since we have a couple in the bank, and then playing shows as we can get them. At this point, we're just so stoked to be back playing shows again. So we're just kind of taking as many as we can get our grubby little mitts on.
Yeah, so, I can imagine. You know, it's very tough now for musicians, especially gigs. And how did it feel to be back on stage after so long time?
Insane, just crazy. Everything you wanted it to be and more. I mean, our first gig back was a sit-down show, actually. So, you know, we're not really built for that kind of scenario. Usually we need people to be having fun so they forget we're not very good. But they were like, everyone would sit down, and I think overwhelmingly it was so much more positive than I could have anticipated, just because like, you know, you're cooped up for 2 years. So that you have all this pent up, whatever it is. So to be able to exercise that in the way that we all love to is pretty great. Yeah,
I can imagine. Yeah. Do you have anything else that you'd like to plug good for the future about Sun Junkies? New merch?
Yeah, I mean, we're constantly working on new merch, new songs. So I guess if you like what you see or hear, just follow us on the socials and Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, Deezer, SoundCloud. You know, I'll stop me now. Otherwise, I'll keep going.
Yeah, that was good. I mean, continue if you want to.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, yeah, that's the questions I had for now. I guess we will continue our conversation later in the open discussion.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so
Sweet.
Let's first move on to the first session of the day, which is Sun Junkies here live on Frequency.
When you say what you say, it all feels okay. And when you do what you do, there's not much to say. But all these times in our life, they all go away. And but these times that we're in, I hope they last longer than the rest. I hope they last longer than the rest. 'Cause out of all the ones I've had, these are the best. I hope they last longer than the rest. When you say what you say,
Hi, everybody. We're Sun Junkies.
Hello.
Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Those last two songs were off our EP, Unconventional Methods of Transportation. You can check them out where you check out your music.
Tidal, preferably. Deezer, perhaps. SoundCloud, also preferable.
Anything you want, man. It's your choice.
Free country.
The world is yours.
So can you come get me? And I'm so fucked up that I can't breathe. When I should have warned you about the dumb shit that I do. And I'm wasting all your time trying not to make you mine. But I guess I gotta go. Then you gotta stay behind. No, they won't, so I will. You'll work your ass off to pay bills, but I think we're still young. The world is dying, so let's have some fun. And I'm wasting all your time trying not to make you shine. But I guess I gotta go. Then you gotta stay behind. Sometime. And I'm wasting all your time trying not to make you mine. But I guess I gotta go. Then you gotta stay behind. Sometime.
Thank you so much. Frequency, definitely the Netherlands, Canada, Toronto, other places on the planet. Bye-bye.
And that was Sun Junkies performing live here on Frequencies Apeldoorn meets Burlington. And next up, we have the one and only Magnetic Spacemen. Surfy garage rock / post-punk with that 60s beat from Zwolle, the Netherlands. Hello, guys. Nice to meet
Hello.
you.
Hi,
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Kind of tired. Worked all day, but
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
you worked- oh, nice. Worked on music or just your...
no, I'm a
Okay.
garbage man. So
Okay. So, for new listeners that are new to Magnetic Spaceman, can you just maybe tell a bit about yourself? You know, how long you've been active as a group?
well, the group has been active since 2013. I started a group with Edwin, our previous guitar player. So this is the third generation of Magnetic Spacemen at the moment.
Okay.
But we've been playing for 8 years right now. You know, Magnetic Spacemen, like as a band.
Okay. And what inspired you to start playing and making music at Magnetic Spaceman in the beginning? Was it the same music that you?
No,
play now?
not not really the same music, but kind of, yeah. I think bands like the Ramones and for old school punk rock more. I was more inspired by that kind of bands,
Okay.
like the Clash and the Pistols and the Ramones.
Yeah.
And later on, I discovered the garage rock wave, California, and old '60s stuff. And I listened, so I listened to a lot. Godverdikkie, ik kan helemaal geen Engels, joh. Wat wil ik ook weer zeggen? Yeah, we have no rules when we write songs. That's kind of a thing. We do everything we think is funny, and every idea. Most of the time, when we write songs, when we laugh about it, then most of the time we're gonna use it. So
Yeah, but that's good. I mean, music is all about having fun and with the passion. Yeah. Well, also earlier this year, you released your album Papoya Poya. First of all, what does that mean, if I may ask? Is this then the meaning behind the name?
no.
Not a real meaning, but it's from an old Dutch song.
Yeah. Oh, Daniela is the song called, and the song goes like this, like oh, Daniela, ja, ik durf je niet te bellen, papoya poya. And,
Okay.
Yeah, so
That's nice. Yeah.
yeah, that's.
I was like, what the heck is this name? But it's cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
We thought it as well, so that's the reason we wanted to use it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Like
And also because I know that the Netherlands, have been in lockdown back and forth. Was there any different approach to recording this album? Because
We recorded it in the first week of the lockdown, 1.5 years ago, and that was kind of strange, a weird feeling when we were recording that album, because we weren't allowed to go outside.
Yeah.
So it was kind of stressful as well, going to the supermarket, and it was a weird vibe going on between us four. But we didn't know that it would take 1.5 years to finally release it. We thought that it would take 6 months or something like that, but we had to wait a very long time to finally release it.
Yeah, because a lot of artists were holding back on their records, and just not the right moment to release music in general.
Yeah, of course, because you can't play shows.
Yeah.
So we just want, when we release it, we just want to play a few shows to promote the album. So that's why we waited to finally,
Yeah. Speaking about shows, I saw on your Instagram that you have been busy with shows, and since your music is very energetic, also people seem to go crazy on your shows. That brings me to the next question, because the crowd, for me, my own experience, the crowd in the Netherlands has been quite still, not moving that much.
Yeah.
But at your concert, they were just, moving and dancing and.
Yeah. Well, when you're in lockdown for 1.5 years, people are really excited to see you, and it feels like you're the fucking Rolling Stones where you're on stage.
Yeah. I get it. And what are the future plans then for the band? Do you have any tour coming up? Hopefully, when the lockdown is over.
Yeah, we're booking some shows, but we don't know if they will
go through.
I know. And we're busy writing songs a lot, because what else can you do right now?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I think we want to release another album next year, or maybe. Yeah. So we're going to record again next month, just to try a few songs, see how it works, and. Hope that the lockdown will be over very soon, so that we continue playing shows again.
Oh, sounds good. I hope so too for you guys. Is there anything else that you'd like to plug before ending this conversation?
No. If people like us, you can follow us.
Buy our record.
Yeah, okay.
And follow us on Instagram, Facebook.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thanks a lot for this conversation. And
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So moving on to the second performance today, here's Magnetic Spacemen live on Frequency.
sinking ship, eating stuff that blows for dinner. I don't think I fully understand. Oh no. I don't think I fully understand. Oh no. Yeah, I don't think I fully understand. Oh no. Oh, right.
Baby, baby, let's go. Uh-huh.
My brain, it has no grip. My stomach is filled with bricks. I'm divided, going away. Destroy your feeling. I feel so sick. I just want to go on with my life. But I'll grab your invisible spine. Leave the fuck alone. I don't ever wanna feel it again. I wanna go out in the past and I'll shut a little friend. I'm the fire coming away. Destroy your feeling. I feel so sad. I just want to go on with my life. I just want to go on with my life. Well, I'm the fire. I'm coming quick. Destroy your feeling. I feel so sad. Well, I'm the fire. I'm coming quick. Destroy your feeling. I feel so sick. Laatste liedje alweer.
Bedankt allemaal. Gigant Apeldoorn. Frequency sessies. Magnetic Spacemen. Rockmuziek.
Up next, we have the Toronto-based indie alternative rock band Fade Awaays. The band has appeared on popular Canadian music festivals such as Indie Week, CMW, NXNE, and have played along international acts such as Wolf Alice, The Beaches, and many more. I'm very glad to have with me Fade Awaays, all the way from Canada. Hello, guys.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, man. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. How's it going?
It's going good.
Yeah?
Just chilling in the basement.
Oh, great. Yeah, it's very dark. I thought that looks like Sweden,
Yeah, man. We're just locked away in our practice space. We had it set up. Normally there's a touch more brightness, but we set it up for a music video a little while ago to get it to be a bit more of an ambiguous space. And we kind of like the dark vibes that we can keep mysterious,
Really like the atmosphere. Oh, nice. So yeah, to start off with again, for fans who do not know Fade Awaays, can you just briefly explain how the journey started with the band?
Well, it's been a pretty long journey because all four of us have been playing in bands since we were little wee children, right? So yeah, we kind of did the whole early stages playing in bands thing. We did Battle of Bands in high schools and whatnot, and we're all sort of in different groups together and separately playing shows together. And around the end of our high school time, we kind of realized that the lineup that we have right now was the best lineup, and brought in Duncan and Owen a little bit later on. Me and Reed had been playing together since we were about 15. And so we have a lot of years on our belts, but right now we've kind of been with this lineup for about 6 years and still progressing. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So you basically formed a super group from all the bands.
We hope so.
Yeah. But did you play different types of music with other bands that, okay, we're missing this kind of genre that we're going to form and play?
Well, we've always kind of been, very rock and roll based. All of us grew up around rock music and whatnot, but also in our spare time and whatnot, or through different programs, different school programs and whatnot. All of us have experience playing jazz and funk and R&B, and we're getting a little bit more into sort of like making electronic music as well and whatnot.
Okay.
So
that's cool. Yeah, because I saw on your Spotify that you write that you have a democratic approach to making music. Because I also played in a lot of bands, I know that that's very rare. Like at least for the bands I played in, there's very strong-minded people, usually one or two. Like, how did this come about? This whole democratic approach.
Well, it's not an easy thing per se to keep up. That's for sure. It's been, there's obviously been some hurdles with that, but it's something that we really valued when we first started the band. We wanted to make sure that it's, we always talk about the band as being a team. Everybody's an equal member. Everybody has their part to contribute. And that was something that we, even when we started the band in the really early days, that was something that's always been really important to us. And it's been, at the end of the day, as many, hurdles as that may bring up, it makes things more complicated, of course, than having it be some kind of, solo project where one person makes all the decisions and everybody else can just kind of follow along with that. It's obviously, a bit more complex, but it's infinitely more worth it now because we found that it makes us better just as an overall team. It makes sure that everybody gets their voices heard. It makes sure that everybody has their ideas valued, and make sure that everybody has a real stake in what we're doing. And we found that creates a real, team feeling for all of us. It's something that's very important. And yeah, we found it to, as much as it can be a difficulty, it's really a huge benefit for us and something that we find really important. Yeah,
no, it sounds very good. You really have to put your egos aside, and welcome all the ideas that everyone
Easier
brings
said
along.
than done, but yes.
Yes, for sure it is. So that brings me to my next question. Like, do you have different influences as a personalities? Like maybe someone who likes a bit more poppy, more rocky.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there being like four of us individual songwriters, of course, it does get a little bit eclectic sometimes, right? But I think as Reed was sort of saying with that, like once we start playing it together and start sort of realizing what it's going to sound like when all four of us are playing on it, that's when things sort of get flushed out a little bit more. And if something's a little bit too weird, then, we address it and we'll try and make it a little more, whatever it needs, give it whatever it needs, really. But going back to sort of the influences, I think, we do all have very wide influences. For example, the drummer, Owen, is a huge fan of sort of classic, like rockabilly music and jazz and even like orchestra stuff. And me and Reed have been getting more into like, the sort of electronic elements of music, and also just, early 2000s rock to like a lot of 90s sort of grunge and rock and roll stuff. Whereas Duncan's big into like Radiohead and that sort of like more atmospheric thing. So I think all of those together, give it a really interesting element. And like we said, it all happens once it comes together, right? So
yeah, that sounds good. And you also recorded an EP earlier this year, right?
It's correct. Yes.
Yeah. What was an obvious choice to hit the studio, or was it more like you were forced to hit the studio when the pandemic happened, that you couldn't tour, for example?
It was a bit of a carryover. Funnily enough, when we finished the last tour that we did, like immediately before the pandemic, we played the last show that we had played before all this absolute craziness was maybe a week before everything kind of hit in Canada and everything got like, we got locked down and all that kind of stuff. But what was funny about it is that when we found out all this news, we were in the studio and we had come off doing this tour thinking like, okay, we have this set really well rehearsed. We're feeling really tight. We have a lot of our, chemistry kind of going at the fullest extent that we would want it. And we were thinking, okay, let's capitalize on this. Let's see if we can get some demos recorded for some of our new music. And then of course, everything got locked down. We had like a big delay on things, but it ended up kind of just being where we had left off. And, it was very much based out of necessity in a lot of ways where of course we can't go out and play shows. We can't do, what we would normally be doing, having our main basis being in live performance. But over the course of the pandemic and a lot of the months that followed that lockdown, we really started to hone in on our songwriting and hone in on playing music together, and kind of became studio rats, for lack of a better term, and really found that to be a new forte for us. So when we decided to go in and record our most recent EP, it just seemed like a bit of a natural progression, not only because it was where we had, most immediately left off before the pandemic, but also it was because we found a new strength in that, and we found a new passion in being a studio band that really took a lot of our passion and satisfaction in music, not just from being a complete and total live act to, it transitioned to us being really getting fulfilled by being creative in the studio and creating music together. And yeah, it was interesting. It kind of shifted our focus, but it was a good shift, and it just kind of seemed to be a natural progression for us to do that next.
Yeah, it gives you time and room to experiment with new sounds. And so what does the future hold for Fade Awaays? Are you excited to go out on tour when everything is over again, or just you want to sit in the studio now and continue?
Well, it's a little bit of both, much more so than it would have been pre-pandemic. I mean, like I was saying before, when we were, just before everything hit, we were really, had a lot of our eggs in the basket of being a live performance band. That was totally where we kept our priority and where we kind of held a lot of our identity in. We totally thought of ourselves as a live act first and foremost, and the studio recordings were just, a total vain attempt at trying to capture some of that energy. But we've had a real priority shift over the last couple of years, and we've really started to appreciate that creative process more, and what it really means to be a recording artist, so to speak. So that being said, we are really, really excited to get back to doing live stuff, and we're hopeful that we'll be able to, get a chance to bring ourselves back to that realm as soon as we possibly can. But in the immediate future, we are planning to do some more recording and get back into the studio and really flex our creative muscles a little bit more, and have that be, a new prime part of our identity, I suppose.
Yeah. All right. That sounds good. Is there anything else you would like to tell the fans who are listening, the viewers, that about the future,
We are putting a new music video out that is accompanied to the EP. So I'm not sure when this is coming out, but if you're watching this, go check out our YouTube, Fade Awaays on YouTube, Medication music video. So,
all right. Yeah. So make sure to check that out. So thank you very much for this conversation, guys. And moving on to the third performance of the night, here's Fade Awaays live on Frequency. Apeldoorn meets Burlington.
Hey everybody, we're called Fade Awaays. Thanks very much for tuning in to watch us. You're watching Frequency Sessions. That last song was called Oceans Overhead. This next song is called Material Things.
Falling in love with material things, the happiness delivered packages bring, all ordering my dopamine and fun on the inside of a box. I've got a quick trigger finger for the things I don't need, trading cards and cups and a brand new TV. It's coming all on Tuesday for a modest expedited shipping fee. I'm falling in love with material things. Nothing compares to hearing my door ring. Falling in love with material things never seems to hold the answers you need. You wish away your worries in the whirlwind. You're wanting what you will. Your armies of the mailman are marching alone. You're running through your patience with your track pants on. You exercise your digital edition with the Amazon. I'm falling in love with material things. Nothing compares to hearing my doorbell. I'm falling in love with material things. Nothing compares to hearing my doorbell ring. I'm falling in love with material things. I'm falling in love with material things. Oh, I'm falling in love with material things. Yeah, I'm falling in love with material things.
All right. It's chilly over here in Canada, although it's probably chilly there in the Netherlands too. But cool to meet everybody, and this is a cool thing. And this is our last song. It's called Super. Gonna tell you I'm stuck in the past. Gonna tell you I'm stuck in the past. Say yeah. Take my phone, toss it right in the sea. 'Cause the life I was programmed with ain't the life for me. We're all super, no one can be. We're all super, no one can be. All I wanna see are trees in the sky, 'cause the trees don't ask me who and where or why. Got too many reasons why this shit is no good, but they just label me misunderstood. We're all super, no one can be. If we're all super, no one can be.
Yes, what a great session that was with Fade Awaays. And next up, we have our fourth band and also the last one for today. They play dreamy pop music, described as silky steel guitars mixed with electronic drums, topped off with humorous stories. Joining us from Amsterdam, here is Nicolaas.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Francis.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you. Thank you.
Nice.
So I was very curious when you said like songs topped off with humorous stories.
Yeah.
As a songwriter myself, do you base the songs on own experiences or?
Mostly, yeah. So I write a lot of songs with Eric, and Eric is also the guitarist of the band, and we just kind of like to keep things light and not just put too many heavy stories in our music, and it just kind of completes each other. Like the songs or the melodies are also like pretty simple, always or most of the times pretty simple and sort of I don't know. We just like to keep it light. So it's based on like personal experiences, and most of the times it's sort of how do you say it's like not really great experience or something. Like I don't know. It's just like heartbreak and stuff, but we like to keep that light and just write humorous stories about it. So
the music is very light and very, very happy. I really like it.
Thanks.
So you don't have any friends that are going around and are worried that you will write a song about them because they did something weird or something funny.
Oh yeah. No, they don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
So it's also like the thing is, it's always positive. So if I would write a song about someone in my surroundings, then it would always be positive.
Yeah. Okay.
Or on a positive note.
That is very good. Yeah, it's very necessary now in these times. COVID, everything.
Yeah.
So how does your songwriting process look like?
So we start off just with the two of us. So it's Eric and me. Like actually in this room where I'm sitting now, it's like a small setup with 2 speakers, guitars, and everything that we need basically. And then we just write. Basically, we write everything off a guitar. So Eric starts playing like chords and stuff, and if there's something that we like, then we just sort of have these song titles. So I always write song titles in my phone or wherever I am, and based off these song titles, I can write like lyrics and stuff. And so we mostly first start off with melodies and like a chord progression, and then add lyrics and also a funny story. So if we have a title, then we need to come up with a funny story based on our own life experiences. And then we just write the song, make a little demo of it. And then, so most of the things, especially for the sort of previous songs that we did, are always made in the box. So everything that you hear, drums, everything is like made in the box. So that I produce in the box. And now we are starting to transition to the live stuff. So now it's mostly live recordings. Then we first write the song and then go into the studio and record everything with the band, with the Hondos, the live band that I have.
Yeah. Also nowadays there's so many like samples and MIDI instruments that sounds exactly like the real deal, So you don't really need the live instruments sometimes.
And also because I started like the first 2 singles I recorded on my own and released on my own. And it was also like for lack of or like studios or people that I could play with during the pandemic. So I started it off in the first lockdown here in Amsterdam. I think that was like almost 2 years ago now. And so I didn't really meet anyone or see anyone to play with or to record with. So I needed to do everything in my room, but I wanted to start a project. So did everything in the box and then just released it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I gotta stay creative,
Yeah.
If you have a vision, you need to follow it.
Yeah.
So your latest single, Tokyo, was released very recently, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Can you maybe tell us a bit about it? What it's about? And
yeah, it's about like for I'm now 23, and for a 23-year-old, a lot of people expect of you that you already travel the world or study abroad or have a good job and stuff. And I think it's also like good to realize there's a lot of stuff just around you, you know, like to discover or there's a lot of fun stuff to do just in your city or where you live, you know, and you don't need to sort of rush everything and like a lot of people at an early age, they feel the urge to reach a certain level of, or is within music or studies and stuff. And Tokyo, we sing about just like, I don't dream of Tokyo. Like maybe I'll go to Tokyo someday. Of course, I would love to, but doesn't mean I have to do now, you know, because I'm 23, you know, like I didn't see everything of my hometown yet. So
yeah, but it sounds like a very Dutch thing though, to, you know, that a lot of Dutch people travel the world early age and
sure. Yes. So a lot of people at an early age already study abroad or want to leave the country or the city they're living in. And I don't know, I just like to keep it sort of or don't have to rush, you know, just have the feeling that I don't have to rush. So that's what Tokyo is about.
No pressure on yourself.
Yeah, just no pressure. Yeah.
So do you have any ideal musician you like to collaborate with?
Doesn't matter how big?
No, that's up to you.
Man.
You know?
Well, I'd like to work with Rick Rubin, I think, one day.
Okay.
That's like a producer from the US who produced a lot of, I think, you know, a lot of great records.
Yeah, he's
and,
a great producer for sure.
I think it would be fun just to hang around like a studio complex and just make a song.
I've seen some videos of him just doing weird stuff while he's producing. So it seems very fun person.
So I would like to learn from him, like just the process. And it's like a really unorthodox way to approach for music, for producing music or writing songs that he has. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's cool. Any other artists that you like to sing a duet with, for example, or
artists I like to sing a duet with? Well, I always like to dream big. So I would go with.
Go ahead.
I would go with just sort of, maybe it's almost a guilty pleasure, but I would like to sing a song with Chris Martin from Coldplay.
Nice,
that would be pretty fun. Yeah, or Bruno Mars. But then
he's a very good singer.
Like Taylor Swift also, you know, that would be cool also.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. So do you have any future plans for Nicolaas? Is there any albums coming up?
So currently we're writing the third EP, which is coming out after the summer. So needs to wait for a little while. But now we're wrapping up the second EP. So there's a single coming out after the holidays. And then there's, I think, 2 extra singles coming out. Then the EP is finished. And then we're going to the studio for the third EP. So there's, I think, every 2 months there will be a new song.
Oh, so, nice. Keep him busy. Yeah. It's good. Yeah. And can fans, listeners expect something different from every release? Or
so now we're trying to make the transition to full live recordings. So nothing in the box anymore, and just have the whole live and play the songs, just live takes. So I think it's going to be more of that, and we'll stick to that. So especially for the third EP, we have like different sounds in mind, and also like different sort of visuals and stuff, and like a real sort of different direction that we want to go to, and also merge the live stuff into the recordings. So I think a lot of people haven't seen like the live performances yet. We played a lot of shows just these past couple of months, but it's a shame that we can't now. So hopefully we'll get the chance to play live shows again in the spring. So
Well, I
just
hope
trying
so
some
too.
live stuff with with everything. So
Yeah. Oh, well, great. Well, do you have anything else you'd like to plug before we end this conversation?
So the new single Tokyo is out now. It's available on Spotify, Deezer, Apple Music, everything that you can stream music on. And there's going to be a lot of new songs coming these past couple of months. So stay tuned. Follow me on Instagram, Planet Nicolaas. And
All right.
That's
Sounds
it.
good. All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
So moving on to the fourth and last performance today. Here's Nicolaas live on Frequency.
My alarm goes off at 7 a.m. And for a brief moment I don't know where I am, but I'm home just like every day. I put some factory cereal in a bowl with my name. I walk to my car, get in my seat. I tune in the radio and I turn up the heat. I hope the traffic don't bother me, I can't be late. My boss so furious and screaming in my face. I said, isn't it not? If it is not, no one knows why. I just wanna buy. It helps me when I cry. Until I die. Oh. I arrive at my job, there's no parking spot left. But that's the kind of luck that I always have. I rush into the office, my boss is so mad. I count to 10 like my psychiatrist said. I take a break, the coffee machine, and there I see Jenny, looking fine as ever. She's always there, with a lovely smile. Too bad she's taken by this guy named Carl. Oh, isn't it not? If it is not, no one knows why. I just wanna buy. It helps me when I cry. Until I die. I can't think the thing of this daily fight I'm in. Man, I just can't win. If there's no truth, then I can't see. It's it nice. If it is lies. No one knows why. I just wanna buy. It helps me when I cry. Until I die. It's it nice. If it is lies. No one knows why. Come on. I just wanna buy. It helps me when I cry. Alright. Wij zijn Nicolaas en de Hondo's. Op de drums hebben we Sven van der Meer. En gewoon awkward lang klappen. Op de bas hebben we Hilde Luitjes. Op leadgitaar hebben we Erik Band. En op de keys hebben we Sam Nieuwenhuis. Ik ben Nicolaas en de volgende song is een ode aan de Prela en dat heet Good as Gold.
And it feels like the winter snow is falling down on me. Yeah. All that we ever do is wait and see. Yeah. I just don't feel like going home. The stories untold, baby, we are good as gold. Good as gold. Good as gold. You made me smoke a cigarette, though I quit some time ago. And if this bed was a Cadillac, we go to places we never been before. Welcome to our little freak show. And it feels like the winter snow is falling down on me. Yeah. All that we ever do is wait and see. Yeah. I just don't feel like going home. The stories untold, baby, we are good as gold. I know, nobody wants to get hurt, yeah. I know that we are more than a flirt, yeah. And it feels like the winter snow is falling down on me, yeah. All that we ever do is wait and see. I just don't feel like going home. The stories untold, baby, we are good as gold. Good as gold. Good as gold. Oh, oh.
Nice. Alright, nu gaan we denk ik een beetje rocken. Of rocken. Wat voor ons rocken is.
Smooth rocken.
Smooth rocken, smooth rocken. Dim the lights. Dit is Lipstick Stains.
Staring at my feet from 100,000 feet.
You made your way across the cosmos, and you're coming down to me. Baby, too cool, you know what I mean. I see you on the cover of a magazine. Don't have to grab your coat, it's cold outside. Let's make our way to the dark. Lipstick stains on my bed sheets, lipstick stains on my coat. Baby, if I could ask for anything, then I would be asking for more. You are on my mind, night and day. You make me blind. The only thing that stays, yes, are your lipstick stains. Yeah, your lipstick stains. Yeah. Waking up at noon feels like a honeymoon. I don't want this to be over, so baby, let's get closer. Baby, too cool, you know what I mean. I see you on the cover of a magazine. Don't have to grab your coat, it's cold outside. Let's make our way to the dark. Lipstick stains on my bed sheet, lipstick stains on my coat. Baby, if I could ask for anything, then I would be asking for more. You are on my mind, night and day. You make me blind. The only thing that stays, yes, are your lipstick stains. Come on, Eric. Lipstick stains on my bed sheet, lipstick stains on my coat. Baby, if I could ask for anything, then I would be asking for more. You are on my mind, night and day. You make me blind. The only thing that stays, yes, are your lipstick stains. Yeah.
Nou, dat sloeg helemaal nergens op, jong.
Cool. Moet ik nog afsluiten? Wij waren Nicolaas en de Hondo's. Helemaal bij het adem. Maar bedankt voor het kijken. Check ons op Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. Op straat, als je ons tegenkomt. En tot de volgende.
All right, that was a really nice performance by Nicolaas. Here live on Frequency. Really, really good. I'm here today speaking to all participating artists, not only about the music, but also to have an open discussion about their shared experiences within the music industry and what the future holds for us artists. So I would like to just invite everyone to have an open discussion. Especially, I like to begin with how it was to make music during COVID times. I know we touched upon it a little bit in the personal interviews. I found like there was no motive, like no inspiration from outside. Like usually when you create music, you know, you go outside, you experience things. But now you have to kind of go inside, right?
Yeah, so I think I can speak for everyone here because I started this project at the start of the pandemic. So I don't know anything. I don't know sort of anything else than just writing in a pandemic or during these COVID times. So for me, it wasn't actually a sort of a bad or a bad experience because I don't know better, you know. So for me, it's still the same as I started writing music for Nicolaas. It's the same experience. Now we're in lockdown again here in the Netherlands, and nothing really changed for me actually. So
yeah.
I think it was really the first time that I had the feeling that I had the time to write songs, more time than ever, I think.
Yeah.
And I had lots of inspiration because when you get so self-isolated at one point, and when there's nothing to do, that for me that's a big source of inspiration. Loneliness is got a big part of it, I think.
Yeah,
it's a little weird too. Yeah, because like the best songs speak to a shared experience, right? But when you're in the shared experience of a generation like we're in right now, you know, you say the word COVID in a song, it's not deep, it's not cool. Everyone's going through it and you're just being the dick that's capitalizing on it. So like, I don't know. It's weird because you have to search outside yourself. And like you said, when life stops, there's not much to write about, or at least for us. So,
yeah. For example, Fade Awaays.
Oh, yeah, I think it's very true that like you're given, you're not given, but sort of put in this situation where you have all this time kind of to, spend writing music and trying to figure out what you're trying to write about. And I mean, for me personally, it took a lot of sort of reflection from before the pandemic and really trying to think about like what situations had, maybe I've been through before the pandemic and whatnot, because like Ethan said, it's nobody wants to hear a song about the pandemic. Like, I think people have written enough of those. And personally, I'm not a fan really to, think about it too much. But also it's like, because there's so much time sort of spent in lockdown, you feel this pressure on yourself to write songs. And it's not like there's, there's nobody forcing you to be, putting this pressure on yourself. But as an artist, I think you really, you feel like you should be working as hard as possible because you're almost given this time. But in reality, it's such a hard thing to go through, like for everybody, this sudden stop in, in public life and whatnot. Because like you said, Francis, it takes inspiration, and a lot of people obviously get song inspiration from going out and being themselves in the outside world. And I definitely find that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Did like making music during COVID change your view of like ownership of music? For example, if you were part of a label, did it make you intrigued to like, I'm going to release music myself? Was it any change of like the view of the music? How it's released during COVID?
Well, it was during the pandemic that we got signed by a label for the first time. So.
Oh, okay. The opposite.
Yeah.
Okay, but did it change your?
Which was very unusual.
Yeah.
None of the labels in Holland were signing bands at that time a year ago, but that label signed a few bands, and that was pretty special, I think.
Yeah, something to motivate you to keep on going, when it's such a dark period.
Yeah.
For example, for the rest of you, did it change your view?
I guess like just the way music's distributed, being in this time. That was the question. Yeah, I guess it opened my eyes to how much more you need to offer than to just say, hey, we're releasing music. Music is out on all the places. Now that, releasing it is so democratized, especially since we're not signed to a label or anything, we can just say, okay, we're dropping it in a month. We can say that, we'll push it. That's just not enough anymore. It's like we're, in a weird way, because everyone can release music, it's like everyone has trouble rising to the top, right? So everyone is so overwhelmed, analysis paralysis and choice is so overwhelming, right? So it really brought my attention to how much harder you need to try to stand out than to just say, we recorded a song, we worked on it. As much work goes into a song. You're writing lyrics for a year, you're producing it, you're doing take after take, you can put all this energy into it, album art, then you put it out on Spotify and no one cares. So what do you do? So I guess like it opened my eyes to how important shows really are. It opened my eyes to how important, like, I don't know, we tried sending our CD to people, weird stuff like that. But I don't know, just thinking outside the box as far as, the band is a machine and all that boring, disgusting stuff. You do have to think about it like a business, which hurts, but it's how it works.
Yeah, that's the part of music, right? This only releasing and recording is only 50%, even less, and the rest is marketing and to act like a publicist, to
basically the pandemic made me realize I'm trying to sell out immediately. So if anyone wants to sign us, Warner, where you at?
To make that money.
Oh, paper. That's why I started playing music. That's why I bought a guitar.
It's also like continuing the thing that you do, because when you release a song and there's good feedback and you see like I don't know, like so many thousand streams or something, that's also a motivation to keep going. Not that it's the main motivation, but it's also like motivation to reach that top or sort of, I don't know, just to get there eventually or something. And I think during these pandemic times, it's almost like the main sort of thing that everyone cares about is how many streams do I have? How many streams does this song have? This new song? And it's just like Ethan said, it's not about shows anymore. It's just about numbers. And because everybody's releasing music now for the sake of just releasing music, not just that they can play it live, because they can, at least not for a good amount of time. But I think that's a difference now, because you can't road test anything. Just you have to release it and just see what it does. And it can be a downer for somebody if it doesn't live up to expectations. But it can also be like a sort of a mood booster for everybody if it just goes well or something, or gets picked up. But I think that's a difference. It's just sort of one side of the coin.
Yeah, it's like, you got to focus on what matters the most to you, really, I think. And that should be, at the end of the day, making music and enjoying that, right? And I think it's so easy for everybody who is an artist to get caught up in the numbers and data these days, and to not see something, reaching a milestone that you would have hoped for or something can definitely be like, it can be a downer and whatnot. And I think one of the big things that like we took away from this whole pandemic kind of was really just appreciating like having a good team behind us and like really communicating with each other as best as possible, and like making sure that we were just focusing on continuing to, do band stuff, where it's like, it's like we said, like easy to, get caught up on like, oh, I need to make this social media post, or I need to like make sure that my Spotify and stuff is like doing well and whatnot. And of course, you do at the end of the day need to make sure it's all in order and everything, but you really want to just, make sure you're doing it for the fun of it, and make sure that you're doing it because you're passionate about it, right? So that's it.
That's very important. Yeah. So like touching on that, what do you think the future will bring to artists with, for example, like technological developments? for example, now the TikTok is kind of like, that's the way to go for a lot of people to get their song heard. And it feels a bit very niche. And we also have the metaverse, you know, like that's coming now. It's like everything VR. Like, what are your thoughts about the development of music? Like
If I could bet the farm on it, I think we're all going to sound like 100 gecs in 15 years. That's it. You can quote me on that. Oh, 5. Okay, word. Yeah, okay. I'll tell you what. We'll play some bets. I'll hold a pool after this. How quickly will every rock band sell their guitars to sound like 100 gecs?
Has Guitar Hero made a VR game yet? I feel like if that's
everything will be fine.
that's got to be coming up. You know what I mean? I feel like that's definitely one of the logical next steps. You know what I mean? Like VR, and it's like because of course all those fucking games are like, you know, you see what's his nuts? That's like the Kiss ripoff guy, and he's playing in like, you know, Satan's thing or whatever. But instead, the next Guitar Hero game, you're going to be like in his perspective, and like looking out on all the demons in the crowd, and you look down and you see your like shitty flying V or whatever while you're playing through the fire and the flames.
You mean you're awesome flying V? Yeah. You're totally sick, rad flying V.
Yes, that is what I meant. You're very right about that. But yeah, no, VR Guitar Hero, that's for sure going to be a thing. Or even like, you know what, actually be like really cool if people could end up developing it. Imagine like a VR thing where you could like play some Guitar Hero type thing, but you're at like a specific concert, like VR, but you're, you know, Jimi Hendrix at Woodstock, and it's your perspective of playing the Star Spangled Banner or something like that. And you see all the weird hungover naked hippies and stuff like that. That would be pretty wild. Except no, it'll be the hyperpop version, right? Like the hyperpop.
Yeah, I'd like to do this, but like VR, you're Gigi Allen throwing your own feces at the audience. Nice. Like, I think that'd be pretty great. Fingers crossed. I'm waiting.
I haven't bought a video game in years, but I would shell out $100 for that easy.
Oh,
or eating that bed like Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Blood spatters on like the VR.
Don't you think it would be a threat to like live shows that people rather be like very comfortable sitting at home?
No,
you can just put on glasses.
I think everyone needs live music and needs to go to a place, just get out their house and just watch a live performance or listen to a live performance. I think that will never change.
I think I could see the sort of progression of like the live stream thing going more VR, where you know, you still have people buying physical tickets and coming to shows and everything, but people can maybe buy like discounted tickets or something to join the VR session where, you know, you see everybody else in the crowd as well, but maybe if you're, you know, not able to make it or in a different country or whatever, then you can still go to the show, right? So that I can see that possibly happening.
Yeah. I think for just live bands and stuff, it's still going to be just live performances, and also the how do you say that? The romantic feeling of going out of your house, taking the bus or the train to a venue, getting there, hang your jacket or getting that beer or something, and just seeing the pre-show going on and meeting new people. I think that will still be the case, and live streams or live performances online will, I think, maybe not be in demand anymore, but I think you will have live videos. For instance, like on YouTube, you had the live radio shows or the BBC ones, and I think, or the Tiny Desk ones. They were always online, so I think they will still exist. But maybe
I
still
totally agree with that, man. I think you're totally spot on. Like, it'll totally have its place, like it does now, and like it even has for like the last couple of years for sure. But it'll never be a replacement for the live experience, you know.
Yeah. And that also brings me to, I think my last topic that I had, that how is the music scene in Canada compared to the Netherlands? For example, we can, like you for example, Fade Awaays, as a Canadian band, what would you like advise people, like a band's coming to Canada and playing for the first time? What can they expect?
Well, it brings me to something that I was like really interested to hear you guys, the Magnetic Boys, talk about. That kind of like surprised me to hear about. You were saying that like crowds in Holland can be very still and can be very like chill.
Most of the times they do.
Yeah. Is that because people like? Do you think it's because people are just like really intent, like actually taking the time to like listen to it and really like, you know, absorb it. Cause like honestly in Canada, crowds, like a lot of the time that we've experienced, even if it's like a show that, you know, is 25% full or something, or like isn't even a totally packed venue, there'll still be people like moshing and like jumping around and doing the whole thing. And I feel like that's something that people feed off a lot of in well, at least in Ontario, Quebec and stuff, and in the places that we've played, we've always noticed that there's like people like to get, you know, physical and like to dance around and like
they do that here as well.
But people are, I think they're more anxious to let themselves go. Or
really?
Yeah.
Be free, or
it depends on what kind of audience you're playing for, I think.
The mentality in the Netherlands is more just reserved. People are more
right.
They first have to check it out, and they really start a mosh pit on their own or something. So I think the mentality is different.
But it really depends on where you play.
Yeah. And it's like almost in the Netherlands, not to sort of downgrade the concert visitors in the Netherlands and stuff, but they're more reserved. Yeah, just like Magnetic said, they're more reserved. And also, I get the feeling that like when you go to a concert venue in the Netherlands, certain places, that it's almost like a sort of formality for Dutch people to go to a concert. It almost feels like it. So there's also like a sort of same ritual, like everybody's just standing with our arms crossed and listening. And I think it can be very difficult for certain artists that the Dutch audience can be really reserved and don't go off like crazy. And especially like I've seen concerts with punk bands just with an audience that just stands still, and I think everybody's just like a sort of anxious, like just like anxious to be the first one or something to get crazy. And because that's what it's about, you know, like a lot of people forget that you buy a ticket for a concert to have fun and I don't know, just throw away your cell phone and fucking go for it, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah, we've played in the UK twice, or we did two tours in the UK. And then the difference is that everyone is standing right in front of the stage. In Holland, you have this gap between the audience and the band.
The infamous gap,
Is it like, it's not like a security gap though? It's like
it's
an
just
awkward gap.
a gap.
Well,
It's
I
just
mean,
the
that's
Dutch
a great
national
space.
gap.
Yeah, it's a good space to get down on the floor and go up to people's faces, I guess.
Like 9 out of 10 times you need to tell people like, you can come closer, I won't bite, you know?
Oh, that
It's
happens
almost like
every
that
show, right?
feeling. Yes, it's like that feeling, like it's a formality or something, like people get together to just talk or something, I don't know. But some concerts, it goes off. And like I experienced, like when a concert or an audience gets crazy in the Netherlands, it really gets crazy, you know? So then it's a great
Balls
night.
out.
But,
So there's a stopgap or everyone's dick is just out. This is good to know. You guys sound like a really fun place.
Gapey.
Oh my God. But you don't have that in Canada. Anything like that, you know, that's weird. It only happens in Canada at gigs, you know. They throw clothes or underwear or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we haven't gotten the underwear thrown at us just yet. You know, that's still one for the bucket list to be ticked off. But yeah, I mean, I found that like there is that kind of natural inclination where people who go to shows, they're very obviously there to like not necessarily let off steam, but it really is like an open opportunity for people to like let loose and really kind of be themselves. I think that's one of the kind of benefits that people look forward to here a lot in shows is like, okay, I can go and like, you know, I'm going to this show Saturday night, Friday night or whatever. And like, as soon as you go into the venue or even like, you know, sometimes beforehand, depending on how the night's going, it's like, all right, it's time to rock and roll. It's time to, you know, let out the inhibitions of the week or like put off steam in that kind of way. People really seem to take it as like, you know, that almost spiritual thing where they're like, all right, I'm at the show. It's time to go,
And just to add to that too, that is definitely a lot of the case with a lot of the shows that I've been to as well. Not to say that all of them are like that. The gap is not just a Netherlands thing. We very much have that here. The amount of times you have to say, we don't bite, it happens. It really happens, especially when, you're just like at this level where you're starting out. Not everywhere you're going to go and you're going to play, everyone's going to know about you. So you have to, acknowledge the fact that, you're small potatoes, and that's not a bad thing. You just have to try to extra hard to go the extra mile to make everyone feel comfortable to let loose, But as long as you set the vibe, I think it's pretty much okay. But just another little interesting thing that I wanted to just like touch on as far as like Canadian touring goes. We've been on one tour out east, and overwhelmingly the thing is that we would be on some drives, it was 2-3 hours in between gigs. And there were a couple drives where it was like 13 hours in between like major cities where we were hitting just because of the geography of it all. Yeah. How is it like touring within the Netherlands? Is that a thing that you guys do, or do you just go to other places in Europe?
I think like 9 of the 10 times you just sleep in your own bed if you're touring the Netherlands. So you can play a show at the other side of the country, and that would be 2.5 hours away. And then you can just drive home no matter how late it is.
Or sleep on someone's floor or whatever.
Or sleep on someone. Yeah, that's also a great idea. But it's not, you're never like that far from home. So, and it's also like a small country. So you would know like people in different cities or something that you can crash at, or because the distances aren't that big.
Sure, that's probably one of the.
Oh, sorry.
Or that's probably one of the biggest differences, of course, is the size difference. Where, like Ethan was saying, we with Fade Awaays, we've done a bunch of tours where we're sort of just all in the same province. But even with those tours, it's like to go from one end of the province to the other is like, you're gonna. Well, if you were to drive from like one end of not even one end of the province, but like a portion of the province, it would still be like, 7 hours or something. So for us, most of our touring is all sort of within a region of Ontario known as not just the GTA, but Southern Ontario, kind of where the Great Lakes are and everything is most of the cities where we usually will tour. And then, of course, sometimes we'll go over to Quebec, to Montreal and whatnot. And then the farthest that we have gone as well is out east, out to a place called Prince Edward Island, which is in the Maritimes on the Atlantic Ocean. And that took us about 2 full days of driving to get from Toronto to the East Coast.
It's a cruel trip.
Yeah. And then you're going to stop.
It's pretty to look at.
Yeah. And then you're going to stop in a whole province where they only speak French. So.
Of course. Yeah.
And risk being blindsided by a moose during half the drive.
Yeah,
it's a genuine concern. It really is.
Literally.
Yeah, but how is it how easy is it to get a gig, for example, in Canada? Because I know in Netherlands you can play a lot, and it's quite easy to get a show, right?
Yeah, I think it also totally depends on like what you're looking for, because if you were to try and book a tour of doing small venues and whatnot, like. I'm sure it's as easy as it is in the Netherlands. You look up the venue, find the booker, and send them an email and ask if the day is available, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But then, depending on what your situation is, it can be a lot harder to tour, or also like just the size difference of like the kind of tour that you're doing will be a lot different. Like, for example, we now have a booking agent who we're working with, and because we're working with a booking agent, we haven't really done many one-off shows, and probably won't be doing many of those anymore, because we're sort of focused on doing opening slots for bigger tours, or trying to really promote like bigger shows. Whereas we used to all the time do like weekend tours of like 3 or 4 shows in a bunch of smaller cities at random bars and whatnot. So, yeah.
And in the Netherlands, you find it very easy to get a lot of gigs?
Depends. There's a lot of like institutions, or how do you say that? Like planning or organizing these sort of band competitions, and they can play a lot of venues. within a short amount of time. But it's also like pretty easy to, I think, book a show in a venue because there's like the very big venues and also like a lot of small venues that are pretty easy to reach. So
so there's like certain companies that you can get in with, where if you get it, like, you know, let's say you book a show at like one place with a certain company, you can like, you know, build that connection and have them be like, okay,
true.
you want to like do this. That's cool.
Yeah. And it's also like very, very reachable to book a show at a pretty cool venue. Like for instance, in Amsterdam, there are a lot of small venues who can pack like 300 people or something. And then it's really good to reach because they also have like sort of these policies of these really fair policies for artists to also like artists who are starting out and who want to do a first show to just book a show, and they won't have to pay a lot of money or something to play somewhere. It's really, and then you get a good venue with a good sound system and like the real sort of experience, and that's what you get a lot in the Netherlands, which is pretty cool, I think. Yeah.
Man, that honestly, that is really cool. That's really awesome to hear. It's been a difficulty that we've noticed. I'm sure you've noticed this as well, Ethan. In Toronto, there's been over the past 2 years a bunch of venues closing. Like all these places that we all would have played, like, you know, being young kids that have that kind of thing where it's like, you know, a venue that would maybe fit like, you know, 100 people or like 50 people or something like that. And a lot of those spaces are closing just for like the whole big thing, which totally sucks, is like, you know, condo developments and these big companies like taking over DIY spaces to create these like really, you know, corporate living situations, which on one hand is a blessing because like living costs here are absolutely fucking insane. Yeah, like that's really, really cool to hear that there's like a bunch of small places that really give opportunities to like younger artists, because that's something that in Toronto anyway is becoming unfortunately harder and harder to come by.
Rarer and rarer, for sure. I mean, that the whole condo thing, there's the whole insurance hike. Like, have you guys heard of the Horseshoe Tavern, the Netherlands people?
No.
Tavern?
So it's this venue in Toronto. I think you have to legally call it the legendary Horseshoe Tavern or something like that. So I might get X-nated. Hang on, they're coming for me right now. But basically that's where like a bunch of big acts like the Strokes and Talking Heads, like it's a legendary venue. A lot of insane, like it's insane to think that people
like
on
the
their first
history
tour
of
to
the
Canada
place.
played it.
Yeah.
It's
it opened
crazy.
in 1947.
Damn.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't even know that. There you go. But like because of insurance hikes over the pandemic, they went up something like 400%. I remember seeing an article recently saying they're threatening to move to like Alberta, which is just tragic to say the least. So that's the kind of stuff that's happening here right now. But yeah.
So a big change in like sort of venues and opportunities to play at.
Yeah, definitely.
Damn. I think in the Netherlands it's, I don't know, but that's maybe from my experience it's getting more and more. You get more and more opportunities to play, and I don't know. Yeah, I think that's
sounds
the
like
case.
We'll have to come out and visit you.
Yeah,
yeah. Oh yeah, buddy.
Yeah,
and you can drive within 2 hours. You already toured the whole country. So we're pretending that there's a lot of venues, but actually there's 5 in the whole country.
And we play them all the time, over and over.
It's like a rotation.
All right. So, well, I think on that note, we can end the conversation here unless somebody has something to add.
We should do a tour together or something like that.
Come over anytime.
Yeah, seriously. We'll do like an
I'd like to
exchange
come
thing.
over.
Yeah, you guys come over here. We'll set up a tour all together. We'll come over there. We'll do it. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Friends of the frequency sessions.
We're actually thinking of doing
There we go.
We're thinking about doing a Europe thing next year, possibly. So we'll hit you up.
Oh, cool.
Frequency rock and roll extravaganza.
Yeah, it's perfect. And thank you for participating. It's been great to hear your stories, your process, and see you perform live. It's been really great. I guess this is the best way we can do, right, during pandemic times. And yeah, it's been great talking to you guys.
Fingers crossed. Thanks for having us, man. Nice to meet you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Hopefully we'll get to
Nice.
connect in
Pleasure,
real life
guys.
sometimes.
Yeah, of course.
And a special thanks we want to give to Gemeente Apeldoorn for sponsoring this live stream. So thank you very much. And thank you all of you for watching. You can subscribe to Frequency's YouTube channel to stay up to date with more live streams like this, but also amazing performances from bands that you might love. Of course, you can watch the live stream and the sessions from the bands that performed here today. So please make sure to subscribe. My name is Francis, and I hope to see you soon.